Just one more, and we're gonna get going. Okay, so welcome to the 5D Academy of Higher Consciousness. I'm Zarathustra. We're broadcasting live from Los Angeles. So, one of our participants brought this topic up, and she asked me to talk about why God is testing us all the time. Um, I'm sure everybody can relate to this because at one point or the other, we're all are going, or we're may find ourselves under pressure and find ourselves uh, going through all these different challenges in life, and it's very easy to feel like we're being singled out, and we're being tested, or um, going through all these different kind of like being in a cooker pressure, and the things get very, very intense and strong as far as the challenges that existence will provide and put in front of us. So we're going to get into that, and but before we do that, as always, we're just going to quiet our minds. We're just going to do a meditation to calm down. Now, when I say we're going to quiet our minds, is we're not actively trying to not think and quiet the mind. We simply fall back into this place of the witness, or this place of observation, that we're simply aware and we're simply observing. And when you fall back into this place, means your attention goes inwards, your attention goes towards the witness, the observer, which is always here. So you can try it right now. If you just bring your attention on you, who is here, and not trying to quiet your mind, but you're simply aware of the mind, so automatically a separation takes place. And in that moment of separation, all of a sudden silence comes. You become quiet. So your mind goes into silence. So let's give it a try. Simply just relax and bring your attention towards that part of yourself that's simply aware, simply is watching, is observing. And let's see what happens. Slowly come back. So why do we feel that existence, consciousness, life, God, for using the word God, but of course many of us are allergic um, to the word God because we're relating it to a religious God who is into guilt and shame and punishment. So why existence is testing us all the time? Why does that happen? Anybody has a theory or feeling or anything you want to share with me? Yeah. Hi, Mary. Go ahead. You can unmute yourself. I can. No, you're still. You're still okay. No.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hi.
Hi. Okay, I've finally got it. I've only done Zoom like one other time.
Okay, no problem.
I believe that the challenges come up so that we can choose ourselves.
So we can choose ourselves?
Yes, because normally what I've found is that if I'm having a challenging situation, it's because I've given my power away.
Uh-huh.
Or
Okay.
I'm giving for deficit reasons.
Okay.
Or just, I'm doing something that's out of alignment
Right.
with my true self. And so the challenge is kind of, depending on the level of intensity and the levels, as you mentioned before, how much longer am I going to give my power away? How much longer am I going to put everybody else first from a place of deficit?
Right.
It's up to me to choose what's for my best and highest consistently.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Well, I agree. That's one of them.
One of them,
Yeah, that's one of them. Anybody else? Anything you feel like coming up for you? Or what about you, Hilde? Why do you think you're being challenged all the time?
I feel that it is because to see if I have understood the silence and to be in silence and act silently to everything that is happening to my body.
Right.
It weeks,
Right. So when
panicking or whatever.
Okay.
Really manage to be in silence and act silently.
Right. I think you mean both silently and being still, right?
Still, that is
right. Right. Okay. And not right. Okay.
So I got some thoughts in my mind yesterday that today I really managed to be still, to act still. Then all the pain and aches will disappear. And I understand it with my head, but the heart has not understood it quite well
Right.
yet.
Right. Right. So the okay. Anybody else? Anything? Anyone feel like sharing? No? Okay. So all right. One thing is that we all need to understand is that our expectation of this life is basically we all want to have a good time. We all want to feel good, both physically, emotionally, and mentally. And we also want things to go our way. So when you say I'm being challenged or why am I being punished, is because something didn't go my way. So I wanted something and it didn't happen. Or somehow existence puts me in a situation of a physical pain, challenges with illness, something has happened, some sort of sickness or accident. So it may happen repeatedly. Or maybe financially I keep losing. Maybe emotionally I keep losing. Things like that. And especially when it happens in a sequence, it appears to be that, when a few different things go wrong in a matter of 6 months or a year, so you may be thinking that you're being punished and why things go wrong, and I'm in this situation all the time. So, well, let's take a look at this thing, is that we all have this feeling that if I can manipulate my surroundings and I can keep things in the same way, so everything stays the same, and I can get what I want, then I'm very happy. Okay? So let's sit with this for a moment, right? If I can manipulate my surrounding, so also things go my way and I get what I want, then I'm happy. Because I'm not happy when I don't get what I want. So I'm really working hard on creating something, whatever that is, and then it falls apart and I don't get it. So that doesn't bring me happiness. That makes me sad or frustrated. Whatever it is, whether it's a relationship with a lover or with family or friends or work, money, success, health, whatever that is. And I'm not getting what I want. So it's failing all the time. But when it goes the other way around, then I don't even question things. So now, okay, in the world, let's understand one thing, this dimension, about this dimension that we're in, the third dimension, a dimension that has the two opposites. So whatever is created in this world, the other part of it is created too. And you can't have one of them without the other. It's impossible. That's why you're not going to be feeling good all the time. You're not going to be happy all the time. And you're not going to get good news all the time. You have to, it balances itself. So now, why things don't stay the same way all the time? Why things don't go well all the time? And the part of it is the nature of this duality, the nature of this existence, that where we're at is that the way this world is constructed is nothing can stay the same. It's impossible. If you just, and it's so clear, it's so in front of us, but we keep missing it all the time, because a part of us is we have this attachment in having things stay the same way, our desirable way, and we do whatever we have to do to keep it that way. but it won't stay the same. It's always going to change, no matter what, either for the better or for the worse. Look at it. Just look at our history. Look at for past 100 years of the wars that have happened in our history, that all of a sudden everything was good, and there are these countries that are doing very well and they're prosperous and they're at peace, and all of a sudden a war breaks out and millions of people die or get dismembered or they get relocated, and then after that is the um, the way the society was changes. A lot of the buildings are destroyed, and people have to migrate from one country to another country, so they have to let go of their lives and live in a foreign country. So uh, so constantly something is being destroyed and something is being created, or countries disappearing. So if you go back to 100 years ago, for example, in Europe, uh, there was the Ottoman Empire, there was the uh, Austria-Hungarian Empire. There was a lot of different things, and then there was the First World War, and a lot of these countries disappeared. And then, Soviet Union was created, so it ate up a lot of the countries. They all became one nation, and then Soviet Union was it fell apart, and all these little countries were born out of it. So even the countries, so things are being created and things are being destroyed. If you go back 300-400 years ago, there was no United States. And then all of a sudden, this country was created. And we don't know how long it's going to last. And it became the most powerful country in the world, and it's dominating the entire world. But even this is not going to last. It's going to change to something else. Because the material it's been used, the kind of a material that they used to make this world, this material that they used is change. The building blocks of this world that we're in is made out of change. Like when you're using bricks to build something, or you're building homes with wood or cement. So they're using change to build this world. So it's always changing. It cannot sustain its integrity of remaining the same. It's based on changing all the time. So nothing is going to stay the same, no matter what you do. You look at your own body, how much your body has changed. You can look at the people around you. Just look at your life. Like at one point you had a lot of people around you, and now they're all gone. Either died or left. They went a different direction. Some got married, had children. Some moved to other countries. Some you're not friends with anymore. So it's constantly changing from one thing to another. Your desires, you're on this path, you want to accomplish something, and then a few years after, you don't want to do it anymore. That thing you wanted to do lost its meaning, and you don't have the desire for it anymore. And these are not in your power. You're not choosing that, hey, I'm going to go to medical school, and I have a friend of mine I was talking to, and he's French. He went to medical school, and um, the process, I think, was 6 years. So he was in his 6th year of becoming a doctor, and then right around that time he just quits. He realizes he doesn't want to do it anymore, and he quits it. Almost was finished. So things change all the time. You're changing all the time. Everything else is changing all the time. So, okay, so let's understand this part. All right, do we agree so far? Are we on the same page? Do we agree like everything is continuously changing, no matter what, including the countries, borders, cities, places you're in? You know, I have people coming and telling me, like, for example, uh, oh yeah, back in the day, for example, Paris was the most amazing blah 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 as far as cultural and arts and this and that has changed to something else. Or I used to live in south of France, or I used to go vacationing in I don't know, in Ibiza, and it used to be inexpensive and it was so fun and so easy to get to the center of town, and now it's very expensive and there's traffic and blah blah blah. Or oh, such beaches were so beautiful, and now, you know, some corporations or hotels came and bought the entire area and they started building, and now it looks ugly and is populated and the beach is dirty and is changing. So this is continuously happening. Now a lot of people, they get very attached to things remaining the same, and then when they don't remain the same, they start to suffer and complaining and resisting this change. So that automatically becomes some sort of struggle and suffering. You see that? It's like if your mind is open into everything is going to change, for better or for worse, and you understand this, and inside you're okay with it, then you become very flexible instead of becoming rigid. But we have a tendency to become more rigid. You would imagine as we're getting older and we have experienced a lot of life and we have seen this, so we have become more open-minded and more flexible. But it's kind of the opposite. The older we're getting, the more regimented we get, the more things have to be our way. We get like that. You know, you want everything exactly to be where you want it to be. And I can see it with myself. I can see it with my family, with my mom, with my elders in my family, and I can see it with older people, my older friends. That as we get older, we get more rigid and everything has to be the way we want it. Otherwise, we get very angry or frustrated. So that creates frustration, which creates some sort of suffering. Now, that's one aspect of what I'm talking about. Now, let's go back to what Hilda brought up, because why am I getting challenged all the time? So the understanding that everything is changing all the time, now we're starting to understand that. Now, in the meantime, when this is happening and I'm starting to develop some kind of awareness, I'm starting to become self-aware. Because, okay, we got the mainstream people in the world that they're completely sleepy, or they appear to be that way, that they're completely asleep. And then we have this process, evolutionary process of awakening, that you can start seeing some people waking up. Okay, so they have become spiritual or self-aware, and they're starting investigating, and they're looking at themselves. So that's also a part of this process of change, because you are not going to stay asleep all the time. Eventually, through the evolution of the consciousness, it appears to be that some kind of awakening happening. And right now in this dimension, in this time, it looks like there's a movement. It appears to be that way, like because of the availability of information through internet. Now we have access to a lot of teachers, a lot of teachings in spiritual world, self-awakening, self-help area. So you have access to a lot of information. So it appears that the world, in some way, it appears. Don't get fooled. Okay? It appears that it's waking up. It looks like it. So in this appearance that it looks like it's waking up, a process of waking up is that, why should I wake up? Why should I, if I'm dreaming, and why should I wake up out of my dream? And what happens a lot of times is, I'm going to use this saying that Dan Millman, in this book, it's called The Way of the Spiritual Warrior. At the end of the book, it says, we go to the spirit. Um, wait a minute, I lost my train of thoughts. It's talking about when things are shaken in our lives, when the foundation of your life is all of a sudden is shaken. Let's say something bad has happened. We call it bad. I don't know. You lost your child. That's one of the worst things can happen to a mother, to lose their child. So all of a sudden, the foundation of your life is shaken. And then you're pulled into the spirit. You go towards God, and you're investigating, and you go to, whether you become religious or you go to your guru and you start reading and seeing different teachers. You want to find an answer to your loss and your pain. So as you go deeper, you realize that your foundation was shaken by the spirit. So it was God who pulled the trigger on you. So now it's waking you up to go towards God, to investigate a deeper meaning of life. So when we're on this spiritual path, and you're getting closer to self-realization, you're getting closer to the recognition of the divine presence. You're getting closer to realizing that you are who you're looking for, and your essence is the same as everything else. So as you get, in a way, like you're getting closer to the fire. And as you're getting closer to the fire, let's say, is the ultimate place. The fire is to consume you, and it's to burn you. And this is quite often is being used in shamanism. It's talking about the shaman is being consumed by the fire, which next week I think I'm going to get into talking about the way of the shaman. And you're getting closer to this understanding. And as you're getting closer to this understanding, things start to get more intense. There's intensity. Because here is this great fire, and you're getting closer to the great fire, so it's getting more heated, and it starts to burn. It burns the impurities. It burns the false illusions. Whatever false illusions are there, they start to burn away. So you are in this process of becoming self-aware. You have discovered that there is something called being still. So you have, and what is stillness? You have discovered this part inside yourself that doesn't move, the observer. So there's an element inside you that does not change. There's an element that is aware of all the changes, but that one doesn't change. And you're getting closer to the fire. Then existence starts saying, in a way, this again appears to be that way. It looks like it. I'm only talking about this stage. All right, just bear with me. Even if it's not making any sense to you right now, just hang in there and let's see where it's going to go. Is, again, down deep, we are trying to hang on to everything the way it is because it's comfortable, even though maybe aspects of it you don't like. But you're getting closer to God. You're getting closer to understanding. So existence is going to pull the rug from under your feet. So all of a sudden, wow, you're upside down in the air. And wow, I wasn't expecting that, because I thought I figured everything out. Oh, you know, I got my money in investments. I have my stocks. I have my home. I have my lover. I have my children. I have my retirement money coming. You know, everything is good. And all of a sudden, existence pulled the plug, and you lose one or two or some parts of this structure that you have created for yourself. And you're upside down. And you're freaking out. You're really freaked out. And that's what normally happens to people who don't have the training. They are not ready, or they're getting ready for this. So they completely are freaked out because their identity of themselves, their vision, the way they're projecting who they are, is based on the way they have positioned yourself in the society and your position in your little world. Now, if one of these things are taken away, it throws you off. Because a part of us is projecting your illusion of self-illusion of who you are based on your material world, based on the people around you, based on how much money you have, based on the way your body looks, based on how young or old you are, how wanted you are, and how things go your way. How secure you feel you are. Your self-security. So then God, life, Her Majesty, not out of malice intention, but out of just simply because of the nature of this dimension, at one point pulls the plug on you. And you're upside down. Now, existence says, okay, You said you're a spiritual being and you're working on yourself and you're very aware. Cool. Demonstrate to me that you can remain and stay still. I'm going to take all of your money away from you. Okay, now you're broke. Okay, now who are you? Show me who you are. Are you still this happy person and you're this spiritual person? Or you were only a spiritual person and happy when you had all this money? All right, you're going to get a cancer and you only have 3 months time left to live. In 3 months, you're going to die. Are you still going to stay the Buddha in the remainder of the 3 months of your life? Or you're going to freak out and wig out and cry and run around and do all kinds of jumping jacks because you've been diagnosed with stage 4 cancer and you're going to die in 3 months? Who are you now? Show me. God says, show me. Why do you think you're worthy of my love? Or why do you think you're worthy to merge in with me? Why should I give you this honor or this admit you into the club of becoming one with me and going to self-realization if you are not worthy of it, if you're not ready for it? So are you going to stay still? Where are you? How advanced are you? Because that's where it's going to, and you always, once you understand this, what I'm talking about, this topic, because it's a very good thing to talk about. I'm glad you brought this up, Hilda. Okay, so these are the moments you can self-examine. And existence constantly is going to put you in this situation. Again, it's not out of malintention. It's not like punishment. Okay, God is not punishing you. Okay, the more you get expanded, the more you realize it's a part of the deal. It's a part of your path to self-realization. The closer you're getting, the stronger are going to be the challenges according to where you're at. Now, if you're a beginner, your challenges may not be as powerful as if you're more advanced. If you're more advanced, it could be a stronger challenge according to what you can handle. And you're never going to get something beyond what you can handle, basically. It may take you to the edge of where you're at. It may pushes you to the limit. But you're not going to be challenged by something that you cannot handle. So, okay, let's use every challenge that you're being challenged. In that moment, you can use that as a measurement stick, measuring with yourself, where are you? And how you react. So you're in this marriage or you're in this relationship, okay? And everything is comfortable, appears to be comfortable, and one day your wife, your husband walks up to you and says, "Hey, I want to have a talk with you." So you sit down and you're having a talk, and your partner tells you, and you think everything is good, And then your partner tells you, you know what, sweetheart, um, I love you. We've been together for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, daddy, 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 da. But I don't love you anymore. I don't want to be with you anymore. Actually, I fell in love with your best friend, or I fell in love with my secretary, who's 20 years younger than you. And yeah, your husband wants to upgrade. Have you ever take your car to the dealership, your 10-year, 15-year Chevy, and you take it to the dealership and you want to upgrade it? You want a new car. So the dealer takes your car and sells you a newer car. So now your partner is doing that to you. It's not really your partner, it's existence doing it. So now, what do most people do? What is the reaction of most people? They're angry, they feel betrayed, they feel lost, they completely lose it, they think their life is over, they think they're a victim, they think their partner screwed them. And so what happens is they crash. What would Buddha do? What would a highly advanced spiritual being do? For a highly spiritual being, they're here, they hear it, they hear everything. Okay. And they may experience sadness. They may experience loss, they may experience being left out. They may feel being betrayed. They may just feel everything that an ordinary person feels, but they don't react. They're just, their initial react, there is no initial reaction. They're just still, they just take it in. And they will go to their internal process of feeling sad or crying or whatever that feelings, emotions that appear. But they don't lose their stillness. They don't fall from the grace, because their identity is not their partner. Their identity is not invested in the illusion that my life is going to be over if my partner leaves me. Because they have discovered the love within themselves. They have discovered that stillness is here and they're complete. They're not under the illusion of projecting their stability, that my life is stable because I'm with this person, or my life is stable because I have this much money, or I'm beautiful, or whatever. Because all of those things could be taken away. So existence in a way, we can call it, existence keeps challenging you. And in these challenges, you will know where you're at. By your reaction, by the way you relate to it, by the way you handle it. And you're the only one who knows where you're at. Are you going to fall apart? or you're going to stay at your center? Have you discovered who you are? Do you know who you are? Or who you think you are is an object? And you can see it with people, for example, who get cancer. They start losing their hair, they lose their beauty, they lose a lot of weight. But an awakened being doesn't lose their own integrity. They remember who they are. They inner light doesn't disappear based on the fact that they lost their hair and they're not as beautiful, they're not attractive, and now their husband, is flirting with other women, and they start suffering and really going down the rabbit hole because of that. They have discovered who they are. Yes, they experience emotions, but they don't fall into it. They have advanced enough not to fall into the appearance, what appears to be. Because whatever appears to be eventually is going to disappear. Whatever it seems like it's real in the world of objects, it eventually is going to disappear. Not just for me or you, for everybody. Not just for one race, but for all races. Not for one country, but for all countries. Eventually, everything will change. So you're going to lose it anyway. Eventually, at the end, you have to let go of everything. Like when you sleep at night, every night that you're sleeping, at the very last moment that you're falling asleep, you are by yourself. You end up with you. Doesn't matter, you have your sweetheart next to you and you're hugging your sweetheart. You have your children, you got your dogs and cats in the house. You got a big family with a lot of people around you. At the end of the day, when you're about to fall asleep, you take yourself to sleep. You end up by yourself. And when you wake up in the morning, you wake up alone. You're by yourself. And in this existence, at the end of the road, when death comes, when you're supposed to die and go to the transition, you're going to have to do it on your own. No one else can come with you. And you can't take anything with you. It doesn't matter how wealthy you are, how famous you are, how big and bad you are. At the end, you have to walk through the gateway of going to the other side on your own. No one can come with you. And when you did arrive on this dimension, you came on your own. So you're going to be alone at the end, no matter what. And in a way, you're always alone. Because nobody knows your thoughts, nobody knows your challenges, nobody knows how you're feeling deep down inside, no matter how many people are around you, no matter how famous you are, how wanted you are, you're very known around the world, millions of people loving you, or you have fans writing to you, wanting your attention or want to be around you. You have a big entourage. But at the end, you're always by yourself, no matter what happens. You always have to come back to yourself. You always have to come back to this place. But why not, while we have time, why not before samsara comes and catches you, while you have an opportunity, why not discovering this place? Why not making friends with this place? Why not recognizing your power when you're in your center? That part of you that does not change. Why not recognizing that my identity is based on, I'm projecting on my environment, my money, my status, my looks, my fame, how many people I have around me, how my body looks like. I'm projecting on these things, and this is how I know myself. So why not recognizing that now and switching from projecting on these things, switching on the truth of who I am. That which is always here, that which does not change. What is it in me that is always here and is never changing? Maybe that's the real thing and everything else is unreal. Maybe that's what God existence is trying to show me. Bring your attention on that which is real, rather than putting your attention on that which is not. And then it looks like I'm being punished or being challenged. Yes, you're being punished or challenged because your attention is on the wrong place. So existence keeps beating you up. It appears to be that way. The master is using the stick and hitting you. To wake you up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up to what? What do you wake up to? Wake up to that which doesn't change. That's what it's waking you up to, because everything else is not real. It's illusory. And since you get invested in it, you start investing on it, and you're close to the fire, so you get challenged. Because you're investing on that which is not real. You're getting it? Does it make sense? Anybody has questions? Is any part of this making sense to you? Or feel free, I'm here for you. So if you have a question or you want me to explain something deeper, this is a good time to share it with us. But then what happens is the more you start to realize this, okay, that, oh, all right, I get challenged on wherever the challenge is coming from, what area. For everybody is a different story. Is okay, oh yeah, I fell asleep and my attention went on the wrong thing. That my attention went on that which is changing. And I'm starting to invest in that. And then, boom, the master stick comes and wakes me up. So it gives me an opportunity to come back to my center. And every time I come back into my center, so I have to let go of my investments because I'm investing on things to go my way. So I got to take my attention away from that, which is a little bit scary because I'm always under this illusion that I can control things, or I have a choice, I have a free will, and I can manipulate life to go the way I want it to go, because that's how it is. So now existence is challenging me and is telling me, no, you don't manipulate anything. It's going to go the way I want it to go. And you're just going to have to surrender to that. And that's very scary because now you have to let go of all your manipulative ways and surrendering, because no matter what you do, it doesn't work. So you keep failing. But we're very persistent. We keep trying again and again and again, thinking, okay, maybe this time from this angle, if I go in there, I can manipulate things to go my way. And then it keeps falling apart. So it forces you to come to this place finally of really surrendering. It's a process, but it happens. And in that surrendering, a phenomena reveals itself, because you realize that there is something much bigger than me. There's an intelligence here, that intelligence knows what it's doing and is going to be taking things always in a direction that it needs to be. And I am provided. I'm always taken care of. Yeah, go ahead.
I just wanted to ask a question in regards to gratitude, because not last session, the session before, we started the meditation by being grateful for just, everything that is, like whether it's people, love, just anything in our life that we are grateful for. And but that's all part of the things that the person might be holding on to as well. So it sort of doesn't make sense now when we're trying to surrender, but then also have that gratitude still in our heart for it. So I just want you to clarify the gratitude part at this point with this particular session.
Okay. All right. So it appears, okay, that I have a choice of being ungrateful or grateful. I mean, if everything is always going my way, right? And I'm not being challenged, so I'm never like, the idea of being grateful doesn't really come up for me until things start falling apart. And so I developed some kind of health issue, some stomach issue, or something weird, and nobody can figure it out. And every time I eat, I really have a lot of problems. I get bloated. I can't digest food. I can't go traveling. You know, I can't just. I lost my freedom because anything I eat is going to create health. It's going to create reactions. So I'm just going back and forth with this issue for a number of years, and finally something happens and I get healed. Okay, now I feel very grateful for being able to eat anything I want. So in a way, it appears to be that way, that you have to lose some things and something being taken away from you to realize that how great it was when everything was working out. It's just the nature of the human beings. We become very complacent because everything's going my way and I keep complaining about this and that. But then when they're taken away from me, then later on given back, then I'm very grateful for it. So as you get more advanced and become self-aware, you start developing an appreciation for everything that existence has given you. And your focus comes on more on what you have rather than what you don't have. Does this make any sense?
That part I understood. It was just that when you say existence could come and then, pull the plug on something, then it's like I'm being grateful for things, but then I'm being grateful, but at the same time, not being attached to it, but just being grateful that it's there.
Yeah, exactly. Everything you got, I mean, existence, things always going to change. So nothing's going to stay the same. It's always going to change from one thing to another. So the spiritual warrior quality is that there is a sense of gratefulness for whatever they've got, and eventually you get to a point that you welcome whatever comes and you welcome whatever leaves. You welcome whomever comes to your life and you welcome whomever leaves your life. You recognize that. Because that's how it's going to be. Things going to come and things going to go. Okay, so why don't we do this? Let's take a 3-minute break. If you need to use the bathroom or get a glass of water or move your body, and we meet back here in a few minutes, okay? Great. Okay. All right. So the way there is this communication that we have with God, with the master within, with the guru. So you're always in this communication. And as you get more expanded and the more you can you hear my voice? Yeah. Okay. As you get more expanded, the self-awakening is happening, the more you begin to recognize this communication, this relationship you have with your inner guru. It's like there's a dialogue going on. There's like continuously there is communication. And the more awakened you become, the more you recognize it. But in this relationship, you're also being challenged. I mean, you're being challenged, and they give you a break, and it's like tea break or lunch break, and then you're taken back into the cooker pressure again. So it's like you're walking up these steps of arriving to the very peaks, but every once in a while you get a break. So, and as you start to recognize this process, this relationship, this dance between you and your inner guru, with the master, with God, then the understanding comes. So then when you get challenged and something's taken away from you, or there's a failure or whatever happens, you do not suffer. And you just have to deal with whatever challenge you are being presented with. But there's no suffering. Your mind doesn't go in this place of suffering. You may have pain, awakening, recognition of the divine presence and your relationship with God doesn't mean that things are easy, okay? And everything is going your way. You get challenged, whatever is in your karma. If your challenge is, you're always looking for a love or lover, or you're looking for some kind of, you want to have a family, you want to have a child, if it's financial security, whatever is your deal that you're always striving and you're trying to get to, your challenge remains the same. You're still being challenged, but the way you relate to it changes. So you get to a point that you're not suffering, but you may go through a lot of pain, but you're not suffering. Suffering is completely different. And as your understanding increases, the way you adapt and adjust to the new situation, it becomes a lot easier because there's no resistance. You're not really resisting. You're not angry at God and life. It's just something happened that your situation changed, and you realize that, oh, I need to stretch myself. I have to become adaptable, flexible to my new situation, whatever that is. So it's always challenging you to remain flexible and having the ability to let go of whatever that was. Oh, I love the fact that I was married and here's my husband, these are my kids, and we had our community and blah, blah, blah. And okay, I lost a husband, kids grew up and left, and now I'm alone and I don't have that community. But then, since you're flexible and you have developed this way of really adjusting yourself, you find you're not resisting it anymore. You're not resisting why things aren't the same. So you're not suffering internally. You just find joy in something else in life, because existence is full of infinite possibilities. It's not just one way. But it's in our mind is that I'm really attached to this way. And if it's not this way anymore, life is hell. But that's not how it is. So when you have freed your mind, you easily are shifting into a different scenario and you find your joy in life, in the vastness of eternity. There's millions of different ways, and you find your way. I mean, I have my own challenges. I'm being challenged all the time, continuously, consistently. It happens that, boom, something happened and a new challenge presents itself. And it's like, oh, okay, now how do we deal with this? And then you find a way to deal with it. Then something else happens. Okay, now how do I deal with this? So you remain flexible. And then you realize that it's actually everything is flowing in a very magical way, because I'm not rigid and I'm not really hanging on into things have to be in this way. Then the mind won't suffer. Hi, Mona. Welcome back. Nice seeing you. Are you living in Quiche? Yeah. What? It must be. What is it? It's 11:30 at night right now.
Hello, do you have my voice?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes, it is 11 o'clock and I'm a little bit sleepy because I'm taking up the new habit of getting up early in the morning, 4:30, 5 o'clock to go for a walk.
Right.
And yeah, sorry if I yawn or I'm a little sleepy.
No problem.
Okay, yeah,
No
I'm
worries.
still here, but I just trying to move out because of the circumstances. I just told you everything changed for me, so I'm trying to be flexible. I
tried some interviews for jobs in Tehran, see if I can move there. But as I tried that, some opportunities opened here for me at different universities again. Yeah, I mean, I just say, okay, whatever comes from, I just want to go for walks in the morning. That's the most important thing for me.
I hear you. That's your meditation. That's the time you're with God, with your own self. Yeah. Well, nice having you back.
Yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy to have the opportunity.
Great. And Mary Simpson? Yeah, hi. Where are you located? Where are you in the States?
Yes, I'm in the Atlanta area.
Atlanta area. Okay. And is this you've been with us before, or is this your
Just one other time.
one other time? Okay. Well,
Yes.
well, welcome back.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you.
Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate it. And Kati Joan, hi. Where are you from?
Well, I'm sorry.
It's okay. You dropped the phone. It's okay.
I'm from Germany.
Germany. Where in Germany?
In Ruhrgebiet near Dortmund.
Okay.
80 kilometers to Düsseldorf, maybe. So.
Okay.
I'm from Frankfurt.
All right.
Yes.
Is that a flag behind you? That red and white? It's a flag?
No, it's the wall and
Oh, okay.
A flag or something.
Okay. I thought
No.
I thought it was a flag of a country. So okay.
I'm thinking about to see you in Poland in October maybe.
Oh, please do come.
Yeah.
Yeah, come.
It's my first time here to see you and to hear
Well,
you. Thank you very much.
welcome. I'm glad. I hope there was something of value for you today. So
it's wonderful.
Yeah. Well,
very good information and very deep. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're always welcome to join us. All right, Miss Hilda, did you get your answer?
Yeah, I'm so happy right now. My heart is singing and I'm just bubbling of energy. So I understood it in my heart. So grateful. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, you have a great challenge in this life, and the greater the challenge, the greater is the reward. So
yeah, I'm not suffering. I understand that. So I'm happy and I'm living a good life. But sometimes you got it in your face, So I need to just hear you talking me back to the path again.
Yeah.
So thank you. So everything is perfect, Everything is,
Yeah. Cool. Well, for those of you who are watching this webinar from maybe YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, and you can always, if you want to have a direct contact, I recommend that you sign up through my website, zarathustra.tv, and go to the Academy section and join us there. It's absolutely free, and you can come in and go as you wish. We basically broadcast every Wednesday. Our Academy is on, unless I'm touring. I will be going to Europe. I'm going to visit 4 countries, starting with Poland, Norway, Sweden, and Germany. And that's all going to be in October. And you're always welcome to join me check out my website, Zarathustra.tv, and on our homepage, I have all the 4 countries, and you can click on it, each country, and see if you find a suitable program for you and you want to join in. I'll be happy to meet you. Look forward to it. Also, I have a retreat coming in February in Tulum, Mexico. And that's also on my website, and you can take a look at it and see if you have a desire to join in. If you have any questions, you can write to me. My email is info@zarathustra.tv, and my social media pages are Zarathustra 5D. I think if anybody has any questions or comments, anything you feel like asking me or sharing with me. If not, then I guess we talked about everything we wanted to talk about. A copy of this webinar will be emailed to you, to those of you who are on my email list. And you can always find a copy on either Facebook or other social media pages like YouTube. Other than that, I think we talked about everything. And in some of your countries, I mean, in Europe, it must be, so Academy goes from 9 o'clock at night, almost. So some of you must be sleepy or hungry. Okay, it's nice to see you all. Thank you for joining me. It's a pleasure. And I look forward to seeing you next week. Our next Academy is going to be next Wednesday. All right, sending you my love and light, and we'll see you next week.
Recordings.
Those of you on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, thank you for joining me, and I look forward to connecting with you in near future. Namaste.